Are you just now getting into craft cocktails and you've come across this and said, I don't know why I would need 3 strainers? Well, let me show you and demonstrate to you why you actually do want 3 different strainers for your cocktails. What we have here is the Julep strainer, Hawthorne strainer, and a fine strainer. So the primary purpose of a Julep strainer is to strain out stirred cocktails. And usually you can do this in one of 2 different ways. Typically how I do it is I'll insert the Julep strainer in here, and then there is this little connection right between the handle. So I'll put it in and then pull it back until it locks. That is used to strain out my drink. Oppositely, you can do it the other way as well, and I see a lot of bartenders doing it this way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's a matter of preference. So that's what it would look like. The bowl would be facing up and you would strain. It accomplishes the same purpose. So julep strainers are primarily used for stirred cocktails. On the other side, we have our Hawthorne strainer. The Hawthorne strainer is recognizable by the coil, and this is used to hold back the ice after you are done shaking a cocktail. So typically what you'll see is it being used like this. And one of the benefits is with this handle, you can actually lower and open the gate here. And that will allow you to actually stream into 2 separate cocktail glasses at the same time. Kind of fancy. But when you do that, make sure you have your pinkies out. So the primary use of a Hawthorne strainer is to strain out shaken cocktails. Now, some cocktails will have a lot of ice or some fruit pulp in it. So that is when you reach for the final strainer here, the fine strainer. And how you would typically use this is to strain out the ice fragments that you have or some pulp. And this will result in a nice, clear, and consistent cocktail. So how this gets used is usually in combination with a Hawthorne strainer, and you would pour it over your glass through the fine strainer, and if it starts to get a little bit backed up, you'll often see bartenders tapping it with the bottom of their cocktail shaker. That's why, just to allow the liquid to pass through the fine strainer. Now you may be asking, well, can I just use the Hawthorne strainer with the mixing glass? And the answer is absolutely, you definitely can. They can be used in combination with each other. Now, where I would caution you though, is if you are making some fresh squeeze cocktails, shaking it using this, and then immediately after making like a Negroni or anything that needs to be strained after stirring here. The reason for that is the pulp will bind up inside of these coils, and even if you do rinse it, sometimes they kind of remain. So when you go to strain out your martini, your Negroni, whatever it is you're straining out, oftentimes what you'll see is the pulp actually running into the cocktail, and you get like these ghost images of pulp because they're kind of clear almost. So that is the reason why I would highly recommend getting a julep strainer.